Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're in our second match of the night, but we haven't moved forward in the bracket. We're hanging out with Void King and Keenan, of course, of Team Time Goat, hanging out on the right-hand side of your screen in just a few moments. Of course, on the left, we will have a team name we're not going to try and pronounce, so we're just going to call them Cyrillic, because their team name is in Cyrillic, and neither of us read it.
Well, there's apparently a lot of ways to translate it, so I don't even think we should try and translate it as well. Thank you very much,
I
Google.
think end of the line. I think end of the line is the closest result we had that at least made sense, but we're not going to stick with it because we're not confident in that, and I definitely don't want to butcher anyone's language. So, their team's Cyrillic. And we will be watching them play off against Time Goat. I do know Dia. I've seen him on a few different good teams. I've never seen this S guy before. But if he's playing with Dia, I'm sure that they will give Time Goat a run for their money. And hopefully give us a little bit of a show here as we slide on into the champion pick screen. What do you expect at least out of Time Goat?
The Time Goat? I mean, it's kind of obvious.
I mean, yes, but what's their duo?
Well, if you're going to go oldie, you kind of want a ranged hero. I'd say maybe Tara or a Jumong, or even maybe, I don't know. The alternative is, of course, you just, well, it really depends. Where you want to fight behind that Chrono Flux? Jade?
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. We don't see a lot of Jade playing kind of defensively because she needs to stay so mobile. Instead, what you see a lot is kind of Ashka's, maybe Jumong's playing defensively. So I strongly suspect we'll lean towards either of those. We did see a melee older combo during CBR, and that worked kind of interestingly, but that was in threes. So that's obviously a little bit different of a game. We're not allowed to talk about the champion picks just yet because the stream delay could theoretically mean that somebody was able to lean on over and talk to their teammates about what they just saw in this sick stream. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what they'd say. They'd be like, man, there was this really awesome guy casting. His name was TJ.
Awesome. Yeah, interesting way to put it there, man.
Wow. I'm not even mad. Normally you're not mean. I'm proud of you. I'm a good influence.
Oh boy.
Have a great influence on you. I've managed to make you mean. I'm so happy.
Oh, well, what's the chances of Void King going back to Lucy? Because we have been seeing so many Lucys in this series.
Their team name's Time Goat. If he doesn't run older, I'm going to be disappointed. I don't think they're legally allowed to run anything other than an older.
We're in. And we are just going to switch over. And you will be seeing your Time Goat.
Now, of course, the answer on the other side, out of Team Cyrillic team name, is Dia over on Lucy, kind of the dominant healer right now, although we are seeing more Pearls and Alders recently, which makes me happy. And of course, S picking up the Varesh, which has been a champion that I saw brought out as an answer to a very aggressive melee dive comp. But I've never seen it used successfully, at least, against a ranged meta comp like we see over on Time Goat. So maybe we see something interesting, but right away the champion picks lean towards Time Goat for me.
Definitely, and I'm going to keep saying this, Chrono Flux against two ranged heroes. That is pain in a nutshell. Just unable to... Especially on this map, which is quite... It does have those little choke points. It's a pretty neutral map when compared to the squareness of Old Man Temple, the jungle, but no, it still has those nice choke points.
Yeah, of course, the Chrono Flux, one of the EX abilities over there on that older, will allow him to set up kind of a pearl bubble that reflects any damage sent into it right back out, a bit like a barcode shield. And it's a very, very powerful ability against some of these ranged team comps, and you can already see it. They're guaranteeing him a place to play through, a place to rein in his damage from him. A lot of success so far orb is guaranteed by the blue side. So far so good maybe, as Dia and Co were able to kind of trade evenly in the beginning. Right now they're behind by about 10% on the HP meter, and actually it might be a bit more as they're now taking a lot of damage in the form of this Lucy being pounded on by Keenan. But Keenan, he's going to be scaring off. You can see the damage truly kind of coming out of this Varesh. He's very, very competent at doing damage in that way. And if they, you know, don't pay attention to him, he could absolutely run away with this round.
Surprisingly even damage, as we do get into a failed ultimate there, and then but on the other side is a good crippling goo, and that could kill Keenan. He's on such low HP. He'll escape on literally almost 1 HP.
Yeah, 25 now, as healed up as he's going to get at least in the meantime. Void King trying to chase after him, and as soon as his heals are back up, he'll be offering them out. There it is. 30 HP is the maximum Keenan can get to without picking up an orb. So that's obviously going to be a primary opportunity here, as the orb will be coming in just a few seconds. They're going to need to make a play for him. Ultimate now available over on this Varesh, and it could be huge as both players will come in. All teams need to come in for this orb, and there's one. No more will come out of it, but that's still so much damage onto Keenan with just 11 HP here. He is somehow managing to stay alive and actually still do significant damage with his very, very long-ranged attacks. And now we've got the ultimate available at least for this older. Time travel will be a get out of jail free card if necessary. Crippling goo flying out. There's a lot of damage. There's that time travel we talked about though. Perfect read. Get out of jail free card, and a lot of damage coming in onto this Lucy. He's able to keep himself alive, but he's taking significant damage from this altar. And despite being so far behind in the champion HP, somehow we can see Cyrillic are managing to even this up.
Circle of Death is incoming, as there is almost no space for the red team to hide right now. On the plus side for blue, there'll be 2 ultimate, and that will actually be Jumong also following outside of the Circle of Death, as the round is in favor of the Russians.
And I'm very impressed with them. I'm proud of them as the definite underdogs in this battle. They made a good play there. And you can see the power of a unchecked Varesh over there on S. He played passively, sure, but he was there. He was constantly raining in damage while they tried to die. Dia, a well-known player and a very good player over on this Lucy, was quite happy to just kind of kite people back, hang out in the backlines, do what Lucy is so good at, which is staying alive. Staying perfectly competent and happy. Now though, the focus is coming in onto this Varesh, and the heals coming out of Dia are flawless. There's the Chrono Flux, temporarily locking down the amount of damage that can come out from these ranged healers, ranged DPS champions and healers, sorry, over on the Cyrillic side, and they will be able to guarantee orb with that Chrono Flux. Now the shield available on Varesh, it will be popped eventually, but it's still not looking good for him as he pinned against the wall. He's taking a lot of damage.
It was looking actually pretty well for S for a long time during that fight, until he walks into the sand bubble, of course. It was almost pretty even health. Oh, orb taken with the ultimate, then jumps over to the Jumong, managing to get a few good hits with that ultimate there, and interesting crippling goo.
Oh, the focus, that's a lot of damage onto S. He's taking so much out of this older. Now the arrow rain, nice use of that reform ability to go ahead and teleport away, keep himself alive for the time being, but they need to get orb, and they're not able to do it at all. Counter available, that does prop him out behind the back lines, but the Wuju won't save him this time, as he does finally fall. It's down to this ultimate, and it's a panic crippling coup at best, and now of course he has no escape abilities, so the rain of arrows is more than enough to guarantee his death. Tied up now, 1-1.
Just great play there by Void King, especially managing to get those really good Chrono Flux bubbles. Not only that, but heal. It is actually quite an even matchup. I didn't think it would be so even, but here we are in round 3, 1 apiece. Yeah,
I'm really liking Dia here stepping up over on this healing side, but time goat, maybe they were caught off guard by their skill on the relatively unknown team over on the blue side, and they just kind of got overconfident in the first round. Now they should win this match. They are the favourites to do so. So we'll have to see if they are able to stabilise that. Zorb grabbed by them. Nice snipe at the relatively low HP of it. They're going to hang out further and further back as they get ready to go. Void King does already have his ultimate available, but I suspect we'll see that used instead of ultimate on several smaller Chrono Fluxes at various tactical positions, such as to guarantee this upcoming orb.
Damage is pretty even Stevens right now, as orb is taken by the red side. Time Goat just trying to find this opening, and they may have found it onto a very Lucy, but nope, that's a good panic. Meaning that
yes, though. He's taken so much damage here out of Void King and Co. They were just kind of letting him overextend, and he definitely took the damage. But he has ultimate. He can use this quite successfully, and there it is. 1, 2, no more, because the ultimate will come through. There's the time travel guaranteeing the stun, and the kill could come through at any moment. It will not quite be the kill just yet, but that Older is still absolutely roasting his opposition. There is the crippling goo coming through, but both players over on Time Goat are instantly able to leap. Orb will be guaranteed actually by this Russian side, and that's huge because now they built back up the HP, and they're at about even HP with their opposition, definitely behind, but they've made it much better, and a fairly even split across both their players is more in their favour than you'd like if you were playing over on Time Goat.
Oh, there's the ultimate, and it will completely land face first onto S, and it will be Deal having to deal with this. No, he can't do all of that. It will be 2-1 in favour of Time Goat.
The kill guaranteed. No, Time Goat, they didn't make that last one close over on the Russian side, but they've not been able to close it out 2 rounds in a row now, despite a promising moment at various different times. Hopefully we see them step back up, say, we are not the underdogs, we are in control here, but this Varesh overextending so early on in this round, getting incapacitated and punished. There's the arrow rain. That's not looking good for them at all.
Oh, and we've suddenly seen him dip into max HP dropping area, as Orb will be taken by red team after a big splash damage there. Bit of lag.
Nice incapacitate coming through, and the arrow rain follow-up is nice. There's the quicksand coming out, though. Look at the damage onto S. Counter will be popped. We drew into the backwards ultimate coming out. 1, 2, no more. He didn't even land the second, and now he's going to be isolated. The quicksand comes through for a route that we drew into the back ones yet again, keeping him alive, but his ally Dia doesn't have the same abilities, and he will fall because S is too busy focusing on damage. He's been walled off by that EX Chrono Flux, and now he's fallen to Keenan. That's Orb. Oh, not quite guaranteed after time, but I suppose it's not relevant because we do have still a 3-1 lead for Team Time Goat.
Just running over that Seeker's mark and then managing to stun him and then cap is just so strong. You don't think it is, but because you have to go into melee range and then you have to go out into a range. But it is actually quite strong when you think about it.
It will be. S, though, overextending here right off the bat. We've seen that several rounds in a row. He gets really aggressive, he gets really into it, and then he just gets punished. And I don't really like it at all. And there it is, the route, the quicksand coming through. He keeps popping this Wuju counter, hopefully, but they have so much AoE damage in the form of the rain of arrows, the quicksand. There's no reason for them to deal direct.
And just look at how much damage is actually being dealt. We've already 360.
Somebody signed this man up for FaZe Clan. He ran right in, he landed the Seeker's mark off the back of his prowl, then he followed up with a steady shot to guarantee the incapacitate. He rolled into prowl, and that worked so well for him.
Oh boy, as we do see the ultimate coming out from Varesh, but will actually miss on the first bounce. And then we have a interesting use of the crippling good, not even really damaging our Jumong. It is literally Deal versus the world here, as we do see him rooted, Seeker's marked. Doesn't even get the arrow rain put on him. as we do go 4-1 into match point.
The kill will come through as necessary. As time go almost at victory, and of course it isn't the end of their troubles. They'll continue advancing through the brackets, and it's only the first challenger they face here. As they throw out the quicksand yet again, that fresh overextend will be punished. The root comes through, and that's a lot of damage onto S, but he's able to recover in time, and he'll now kind of fall back here.
I think that you don't want to be so aggressive as a fresh, but on the other hand, Kinnan and Voidking are just able to stand at the back, just poke as much as they can, but not be in range, so Varesh has to go in. It's just brilliant play.
I mean, as silly as it sounds, I'd like to see Dia taking a more aggressive approach here, because he does have the utility to really disrupt the formations over on the other side. He does have, either in the form of those clarity potions or the panic flasks or the petrifies, he can make people fall off, he can guarantee them 1v1s, but he's hanging at the back following kind of the traditional healer methodology, and that's costing them.
Deal wasn't counting the escapes that our good Time Goat has, and that'll be an in-cap onto Lucy. Does that manage to roll out? But that means that we've got Varesh, who is completely alone without Deal, or will be taken by Void King on this Time Goat side.
There's the panic temporarily landing, but Dia will still be in trouble, and there's the Chrono Flux actually isolating this Varesh here. He will be able to recover coming out of the root, but he's still taking so much damage from the rain of arrows. He could fall at any given moment, and that will be the game as the barrier protects him for a moment longer. There it goes, ending. He needs orb, and he's not able to get it. This means he's now out in the open. Wuju allows him to counter behind, but the Chrono Flux isolates him. He will be able to use the teleport, the EX reform to get out, but there is the 2-for-1 on the rain of arrows, and both kills coming through in quick succession. That's it, 5-1 for Time Goat.
Not much to say again, but just brilliant play and brilliant spacing by both Keenan and Voidkling. Just managing to realize that don't have to take the center pressure when you've got that much range, I guess. Just sit back.
Yeah, it didn't look good, but either way, we do have them advancing, and they're now going to face the victor of a match between T5TPEU or Bandy Dam. Those are some names, Dropbear. Do either of them mean anything to you?
I'm going to... not...
Oh, it's the Swedes. It's the Swedes. TST5P whatever. They've advanced. And their players are Joe Dolly and Who Said I'm Whack.
They don't sound familiar to me. I think Whack used to be a player or something. I'll have to triple check that.
Well, they apparently got to the second round in the last Go4Battlerite tournament, I believe.
We'll have to see.
No, I don't know. We'll look into it. Of course, in the meantime, please do enjoy this beautiful alt rock.